Hey guys, how's it going? It is April 17th, 2018. I think I titled my video right. I don't know. I'll try to keep it down here. I'm right beside the microphone anyways, so let's see. I don't have too much time. Maybe about a half an hour, so yes, I'm hitting. What am I in San Bernardino for? I have no idea. Okay, let's deal with what did I want to do? Yeah, something like that. So I'm just in some extra board thingamajig, and there was a few things that I wanted to do still regarding. Let me just get the time here and get it nice and dark so we can see things. So I'm just at 10:30 Eastern. Says the cuckoo clock. Okay, so a couple things. Starting out as far as being able to see where your industries are, where everything else is, you have a few options. Right control F8 puts the industry tags on, so that now it's just like airport lights. So this is if you're using industries. This will allow you to see where the catchment area is. Of course, you can set up the industries. This has to do with the industry file. Has nothing to do with traffic. I just thought I'd show that. So it's like turning on airport lights, basically, is the way I like to put it. Left control F6 is not it. That's your hump controller. And I keep on doing it. My brain works that way sometimes, and I've been doing that a lot lately. Left control F8 will put destination. That's not what I wanted. I believe it's left shift F8. There it is. So left shift F8 puts the milepost tags on, which gives you an indication of whereabouts you are in relation. And of course, if you're ever lost, you can just, as you're flying around, this will tell you whereabouts you are. The best advice I would say is the Run8 maps. Now the AI has been spawning in this world. This particular one gives a symbol of XWatt RAV7. I don't have the saved world right now, but what's happening is it's just spawning trains, and it will do that because of this. When you go into Shift F2, now I'm into the train symbol side, you start out in this area. You have your AI status, which shows the one train that's there. You can delete it, you can release it, you can hold it, you can transport to it. If I wanted to transport to it, I can. And the reason why it's sitting there is because, of course, it is coming out to a red signal. So if I want to get it going, I can do this. Right mouse click allows you to hide that so that you can see. Right mouse click again shows it to you. Left mouse click gives you the details. You can make this an eastbound, puts the E symbol or whatever you want, tells you HPT, all the other things. Of course, the external dispatcher gives you more. And then you can line things up and do whatever you want from there. We'll just get it going. So that's how you at least see. Now it's green, so it's going to start going. And the symbol of the train is the first one, and you can see this. You can also, if you hold F11 and go like this, you can be inside. I was seeing this the other day. If you go, not your WASD, I said WASD, use your E button. Your E button takes you up. It'll take you right outside the cab. Now unfortunately, as I saw in one of the other threads on TrainSim, you don't get the outside sounds. But I'm okay with that, because you can put yourself as far back as you want. And it takes a while to get back there, unfortunately. There's no other way of doing this. If you want to stay high above your train while you're running, you can. Now I was going to explore a few things, but this is just some of the basics if you ever want to ride along with one of your AI trains. And you can see we're getting into, you can see the various industries are all lit up all through LA. Like I can go like this and I can throw that signal on to here. Where was I there? So you can see that green light now that just came on behind us. Whoops. That's that one right here. So if you have opposing signals. Oops, give me that. Off. There, I just dropped it. So that's one way to enjoy just simply riding. You don't have to be in passenger cars necessarily. You can ride a freight train. You can, you know, you can go ahead and do whatever. That's the little flyover there in LA. I'm using the Q button to bring myself back down. It takes a while to get really far back there, so if you want to have like a dome, if you have a passenger car that you can get yourself into, you can raise yourself above. The freight takes a little bit more time to get back there, but I'm just trying to fly back there. Anyways, enough of that. So, with the AI, and I was going to see, you got the signals were all set up to go through. For the AI, you've got your AI status. Like I said, you can transport, you can hold it, he'll come to a stop. You can put them all on hold, which I often do at the beginning of my sessions to pause the clock, get everything set up. AI traffic generation, AI traffic generation takes you to this. Now this is my traffic file on California. Each region has a traffic file, and it has an industry configuration file. The danger with these files is they can easily be overwritten. I recommend taking backups, which I do have. So if you go into your, here's my Southern California, for example. I have a Mojave traffic folder that I created. I just threw it in there, and I have the traffic backup for Mojave. And the reason why I have it was because I was running a Mojave and an LA session. So I wanted two different types of traffics depending upon what I wanted to do. Now I'm no longer running Mojave things, but you can basically you can take any traffic, and I have copies. So you just Control C, Control V, and it will most likely make a backup for you, depending upon how your operating system is set up. But those are the files that you need. I screwed up there. See, I just spawned another train, and it's spawning on average, I believe it's every 15 minutes. So Riverside has one now. So this is becoming more of a tutorial than really getting stuff done, but that's okay. I just wanted to screw around a little bit anyway. So, but you have your config, which is your industries, config.ind, and you have your traffic R8. Those are the two files it's reading. The other folders are ones that I made, MJ traffic, LA traffic. These are what folders that I created. Everything else is part of the Run8 install. So we're going by that yard in LA. And I'm going to F4 this here, so we got nice views. Various beauty. So we're right on top of the one engine here. So it's fun doing that. Oh, I had another train. So I do left-hand running. Now I had to set it up this way. Or I believe I did anyways. So you can green to fleet it, which they keep coming. Now the way I've set up the traffic, I'll show you here. First of all, 25, it's actually about, so it's 2 to 27, which gives a max of 25, so approximately every 12.5 minutes on average a train will spawn. That's based on data that I've calculated to what is reasonable. Now see, up here you have breakdowns. It's like a hierarchy. So this is your top level, then you go to your spawn points. You see the ones that are white and the ones that are gray. Now I have trains in all of these, but I have the probability set low. Our probability set to 0. I have some probability from Umisub, which is very, very unlikely, whereas other trains like Riverside, Alameda Corridor, for example, I have some, but I also have stuff that I actually build out of Hobart Yard, for example. Now if you don't want to build trains, you can actually put trains into Hobart Yard. To see what the train types are, of course, you would go into the various... You got to go into each one. So if you go into West Riverside, this is West Riverside train types. Notice they're all gray. That's because there's no train symbols. That's why that's gray. We just saw one come out of this train that we're on right now. Now, of course, we did see a Riverside come out, but the first one that spawned was this. This is a fairly high probability. You know, we also have the Union Station. So you want to get traffic coming out of these things. You go in, and you can see I have the various types. I've got international containers. These are ratios, not so much percentages. The international containers is the big one coming out of Long Beach, for example, whereas unit coal is not as much. Mixed freight is very little, and there's a few bare tables. These you have to set yourself. However, you can see some of them are white. So if you were to go into the passenger and you hit train symbols, this is the button, nothing's here. It's empty. That's why they're gray. When they're white, it means something's in here. Let's take the biggest example. International containers. The majority, I believe all of these, I put in a video not too long ago. I had to enter each and every one of them. But if, for example, you wanted a light power move, let's say, to come out, you can go into train symbol and you get an empty field. You just click on this, you say, we'll call the symbol delete me. You can spawn it now if you wanted. You can put a caboose on it. Well, it's a light power move, so that's kind of interesting. I don't really want to see that. Oh, I do want to see that. It'd be kind of neat to see, but anyways. If you don't click any of these, it will put anything on it. It'll put pretty much anything. But if you do put that, then it gives you the ability to specify local names and stuff like that. I usually go like with these guys, or you can put them all, or if you just leave it like that, it will pick them all. Train priorities, King of the Rails gives you your highest HPT values, which means more power, whereas the other peons actually will slow down for grades and stuff like that. These are the defaults to make sure that they get over various places such as Tehachapi, Cajon westbound and eastbound. As you can see, let me... Oh, by the way, you want to delete a train out of there? Now, first of all, see the white is now on. It doesn't matter what the probability is. the white is now on. You can put a probability in there, or you can just leave it alone and never use it. It'll never spawn that unless the probability's there. To delete it, as it says delete me, hit delete key. It's gone. You go back to train types, it's gone. That's what you have to do. You have to put that in, and to see that, you'll have to find the spawn areas that have something like Highland, maybe. Well, actually, I don't know which one of the ones that probably had something like Bakersfield, maybe. Like there's a bunch here, Unicole. I don't know. I don't know which ones I've created and which ones are already in the system, to be quite honest. But that's how you do it. Now, and you can dispatch yourself while you ride along. I mean, I got the rail driver all set up. See if I can get that. That'll upgrade to green. And again, this is a symbol, Watson Yard to wherever the hell that is. I'm not 100% sure. Symbols, you can make whatever you want. So eventually we'll come up to these guys somewhere out here. So the one I was looking at doing tonight, although I don't have much time now, is the watt bar, or not the watt bar, the bar lag. So what I'll do is I just hit F12 there and jumped off that train for now. So the industries are there's tons of various industries. As you can see, you have the various names. To do the industries, Control I, and then you can go to the list of industries, and there's quite a few. So there's all kinds. Oops, every time you escape it says it saves it, although it does it for the other stuff too. But yeah, anyways, just trying to think here. Is there maybe I had to go back into the filter for a second. Actually, I do. There is a filter that I haven't specified yet, and I want to do that. So, of one of the trains, before I get into the industries, because I'm not 100% sure of all of them, I got to go back into Ski's got a bunch of emails that he sent me, that because he was working on this. So so you notice I don't have all of sub out of Atwood, but I do have the other ones. These are, again, you can't add currently. You cannot add spawn points. So if I was to go into, like here for example, here's well, that's the container yard. Where do I want to go here? Here's all my passenger trains, for example. Of course, it's full probability, and that's the only trains that come out of there, but I've got every single passenger train that comes out of Union. And they're all there. Do I have A2 set up? I don't even have it. I just noticed I didn't have it set up for the to make sure it had enough power, but I think that's okay. So these are the various trains that go different places. Yeah, wherever they go, they go. So some of them go down, like this goes down the UP East, so does 22. That don't sound right. Oh yes, it does. 2 and 22 head eastbound. A4 heads down the San Bernardino sub, and the rest of them, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, just they go into they either head west of town or they head east down their oh, where the hell they head to? They head to San Diego. So the evens head San Diego and the odds head west from LA. The rest are your more regional lines, so, or your more regional Amtrak trains. But I did want to do something, and this involves the filter button. The filter button is how you get particular traffic to spawn in. Now, first of all, I want to make sure I get the right one, because I do have to play around with it. The problem is I'm not exactly sure what filters I want to set yet, and I may have to do a little bit more research. I have a session tomorrow. I'm not really prepared to do the locals just yet, but Ski's got a little bit one up on me as far as, or I shouldn't say one up on me, he was the one that was really going crazy with the industries, whereas I was going down a top-down approach, working on the trains first, and then keeping this as standalone. This is all set for standalone. I do not have anything outside of this area spawning. I'm just using this entire area. I've got, for example, where I do have stuff, although it's not going to show it here because I don't have the world save, but what I do is I have the traffic spawn, and then this is usually crossed over, heads through a yard, and then goes down a dead-end track. The Yuma sub I have lit up so that it comes into here for the one Amtrak train. So it's a nice setup. But what I wanted to do before I end this, because it's getting late, let me, well, it's not that late, it's only 10:50, but oh, where did I want to go? I wanted to go somewhere here real quick. I'm looking at the wrong side. San Bernardino. Man, that dog is yappy. So if I go into Riverside, and I go mixed freight, you see Watson and San Diego are not set for tagged for industries, whereas Barlack is. In order to specify what exactly is what here, I believe, and I'm not 100% sure on this one, I believe the trains that we want are the LACs. I'll have to check. I'm going to have to go back into this. But what that does is I can basically go in and check the various industries to see what trains they're set to. So what that means now is anytime Barlack is spawned, it will only filter for those particular industries. I've recently said that this was probably one of the best updates they did, because it finally harnessed the power of what RTS used to do to some extent, although it's not perfect, or it's not, I shouldn't say perfect, it's not as how I would do it or how I would have it set up, but it's still, it really gives it a lot of power. Because before, if you tagged it for industries, you basically had everything coming. The filters, what that does is it limits only those industries showing up. So now you can actually have trains that have particular cars on them. Like if it's a BNSF, it brings BNSF stuff. This one, for example, is bringing cars for the locals for LA. It's not bringing stuff to San Bernardino, which would have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? It's not bringing West Colton stuff, for example, down. This stuff is only going to bring those particular ones. Now I'm not exactly sure of all the symbols, but I'll leave that for now, and I'll take a quick look at the industries here and see what we do have. I'm just going to take a look at the maps real quick here and see if I can find what's in the area. For example, Proportion Foods is in the LA area. So if I was right around Hobart, Proportion Foods, there it is. So see, there's a YLA, for example. So technically, I guess that runs off, that is a UP one. If I wanted to go into, so UP would actually handle that out of East LA Yard, I presume, because it comes off of the UP line. I'm looking at the, but if I want to go into, let's say, the upper LA Junction yards on page 13 and 14, or page 9 maybe, I'm not too sure. I'll have to double check again to see what the latest is. Luckily I have an email that Ski was sending me of his research, but so let me just see here. Malamar was another one he had mentioned that they do. So, for example, in the LACR district, we have Progressive Produce is another one nearby. So if I was to look at Progressive Produce, see, that does a different, that's one I didn't expect. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of various research as far as to what the local freights are. VRN, I have no idea. I have to go back to his emails and see what some of the various ones are. I'll do A and B yard here and see if I can find one. How about Federal Cold Storage, for example? See, it's doing that VRN again. I don't know which ones those are, to be honest. Oops, I don't want to do that. So again, if I want to put that, I can put the VRNs in there as well. Now, I'm not too sure what the LAs are. There's another way of, those are all UPs by the looks of it. I'm not going to do San Bernardino, I'm not going to do Yermo. Bar, I'm not worried about. I'm not even too sure about the Cals. I doubt those are in play. Kaiser. It's probably just those. I'm not too sure what VRN stands for exactly. Like there's your Cargill switcher, for example. But if I was to look for them, per se, what I could do is I can go like this and start from the top. Now, I wish they had a spreadsheet, but they don't. What I'm doing is I'm, like there's one right there, A&S Logistics. How I'm going to find that one, I have no idea. Oh, sorry, yes I do. So if I want to find out where this is, just transport to it. Now, because I've turned on all those other I can try and get an idea where I'm at, but I don't know. Somewhere down here. Looks like I'm at the end of a spur of some sort. Along a highway. Okay, so that's Malabar. Brian, is that you? What the hell? Oh, I've seen some crazy stuff in this. That's funny. Okay, so there's your Malabar. I think I saw Malabar earlier. There was one other. I'm just looking through the various Amtrak I'm not worried about. So that's Malabar area. I'm just looking at the ATSF Malabar. And sure enough, there it is. This is going to ring a lot, guys. I'm not done yet. Okay. So Malabar, there's a transfer with LA Junction to Malabar. So that also comes on to Los Angeles, or the Barlac. So what's cool about that is I've got it, so that's good. I'm just looking at one more here. I'm not too sure where the KC lead is. I'm not even going to worry about it. Page 2. SP is UP, so I ain't worried about that. KC lead, I'm not sure where that is. Like LA West Branch, I'm not too. Los Nitos is 1, I believe. Maybe. Maybe not. La Mirada? I can't remember. So yeah, there's a La Mirada. Sounds familiar, but I can't remember for sure. Yeah, I don't want Los Nitos or San Gabriel Junction. That's all UP stuff for now. Oh, La Mirada, yes. So I do want that. So if I want the La Mirada Industries as a block, for example, I do want to go to page 8 and find an industry. So one of the industries I can use there, I can do shite kitty litter. See what that looks like. Well, I don't want to see what it looks like, but you know what I mean. And I don't think, oh yeah, he does have it in there. See, now there's a Cal 07-1. So our Cal 07 La Mirada is one of the places. So 07-1. Let me see what Yito Mather has. Is it Yito Nather? Yito Nather. Nather. Okay, so 071 and 081. Oh 71, 081. Tough Techs. Okay, so 07081. So what I want to do there, again, go back into the filter. And I'll turn those ones on. Now I can go further. I'm not too sure what all those particular numbers are. I wish I could, like I said, I wish there was there probably is a spreadsheet. I'm not thinking of it right now. Actually, there probably is an easy way to do it, now that I think about it. So let's see, there's another train that came out of the... Here's an easy way to do it, and I'm actually gonna do it right now. I haven't done this in a while, but what you want to do is let's see. I don't want to import the... How do I do this here? It's been a while. It's been a long while. Industry configuration. I can generate a car report. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do either. Ooh, wait a minute. That's a different way of doing it. Oh, isn't that sweet? Well, there you go, guys, right there. So I'm looking at those, and I see so what that I just did was I clicked on the incoming tag. You can sort it. I don't think they show you these things in the industry. Export industry configuration. I think that puts it into an Excel file. File written. Let me just take a look at this real quick. Recent places. It's going to still take some time, but at least for now I got something, which is better than nothing. But if I go into my recent places and I go to Southern California, you can see the industry configuration. See, there's an Amtrak train that spawned 2 minutes later at San Bernardino. So now I got all kinds of, but anyways, yeah, I'll show you that in a second. We'll fool around for a minute, but I'll show you. So if I go to industry configuration, which was just created now, and I open this up, I believe this will give me what I want. That's a text import. Okay. Industry configuration. Now, I wonder why it's giving me an import thing. Alright, well, let's do this. Oh, okay, I see. So what it's doing is it's asking for the comma delimited thing, which just put it for OK for now. So now what you can do is you can basically see every industry that you have currently set up, or that's been set up for you. You can filter. Well, you don't really want to filter, unfortunately. The way it does it, it's doing it the way it needs it. It's not necessarily for that, so it doesn't repeat a lot of these symbols, so you can't really filter it. But you look at A&S Logistics, for example, and some of the various ones. You've got like Barstow. These are ones that I put in for Barstow Yard, and I put junk and test and all that other stuff. And the reason why was I was putting it for reporting. Let's see, you got LAC 0113, which I hope I didn't put in there. I don't think I did. I don't think I was that crazy, but you never know. Hang on a second. Oh, I don't want that. That's bad. See, that's the problem. You make something and then all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, I don't want LAC 0113. So I'll have to go in. I'll have to actually, now that I've generated that file, I can play around with that. At least I have the data. So that's a start. And hopefully it doesn't create too many files or intermodal cars or crap like that. I don't think it does, but at least it's a start. So what do we got here? Let's just fool around for, well, I should probably call it the night, but so yeah, you get your Amtrak coming down here, and then you got oh, I do have them going. So as we were doing before, I can just, oh, there's the KC lead. Okay, where's my train? Is he past Fullerton? Yeah, he is. Probably went the wrong way. Okay. Let's grab him over, I don't know. Grab him up to there. The Amtrak can go into here. I don't care. We'll find him. Wherever he is. There he comes. Ah, crap. Didn't mean to do that. I hit the wrong button. So yeah, there's a lot of power at your fingertips. I mean, I'm always, like I said, I'm always critical, but I'm always very thankful for what I got too. I know it doesn't seem like it sometimes, but I am. I wouldn't be doing this for 6 years if I didn't love what I'm doing. And I love helping people out. This is why I kind of figured I'd help some people out, especially, you know, they're trying to figure out things, and it's a lot easier to explain in a video. So yeah, let's see here. Very beautiful route. I find it just as beautiful at night. Now if you watch my sessions, you understand how crazy it can get, and it's fun. There's Adler Junction. So yeah, we'll wait for this meet to take place here. I'm just pulling back a little bit. should be here any minute, but yeah, there's a lot of tools available. There's a lot of power that's available. Now, if you're riding the passenger cars doing this, or riding freight cars, or whatever the heck you are, you'll go all over the place, but that's okay. Zoom out ahead for a minute. See if I can catch him coming around. So yeah, it's like I said, there's a lot of power, a lot of different ways you can run a server. I know a lot of people like running the entire territories, and believe me, I love to have territories if I have people to run them, but I'm also a stickler for operations. But that's just the way I do it. Anybody can do something like this, which is fine. If it's just for fun, and like what I'm doing tonight, I can do this too. Notice the red signal on the right hand side, that's an intermediate signal, which means he's in this block. So he'll be here any second. I'm seeing lights now or something. Maybe. Maybe not. Here it comes. So just like that. You can put your flashlight on if you want to see more. And you can do this with any car. You can do it with a passenger train. You can do it with pretty much anything. Because you can get into engines. Even the passenger cars you can't get into, you'll be able to do it. Just a bit of a pain to... The detectors are battling each other. So it's about 17 after 11 right now. Just in closing, I've mentioned we're still waiting. Obviously, I was running Mojave Sub the last little bit before I got the expansion, and I was starting to enjoy the external dispatcher again. I hadn't run the external dispatcher in a while, but I was really starting to enjoy it again. Unfortunately, now, you know, now that I'm in LA, there is no external dispatcher. TSCAD, I don't know. You know, we're dependent upon two things. Well, we're dependent on three things. One doesn't look like it's going to be expanded, and that was the original external dispatcher, which was given to us for free. And I guess we should be grateful because, I mean, the F3 is okay. It's better than it used to be for version 1. It's actually improved. But the external dispatcher actually gave us our first glimpse of being able to have a lot more control. It doesn't have all the dispatcher functions of a modern CTC system, but it does have a lot of the protections and a few of the other things. TSCAD, when it first came out back on version 1, actually had a fair amount of the functions you would expect in a dispatching system. Now, I was in communication with the author, and actually he was helping me out at one time, but I sent emails, but I never got any replies back for the latest stuff. Of course, I guess I'd be in competition with him or whatever, but he was helping me out at one time, and unfortunately I didn't get it was this whole RabbitMQ thing. I wasn't into net programming yet. I've spoke with John in the past, but there wasn't really much, you know. Both of them were very busy doing their own things, which is understandable. As far as myself, as I've boasted, I've already planned an AI dispatcher and I have it designed. I've had it designed for years because I love dispatching. So I know what my system is and how to get it to work. It may not be perfect, but it's better than not having this. Like, for example, that train that's sitting there, it would have started going by now. I would have had rules in there so that the trains would start moving. So unfortunately, we're at the mercy of as I jokingly say, the gods and the gods and the disciples of the gods now. And like I said, I'm you know, taking nothing away from Run 8. This is an awesome pack. I didn't spend a cent on this. It was gifted to me by my good friend Ski, who, you know, was nice enough to basically purchase it for me. I was like, I haven't had too many friends do that kind of thing for me. You know, one of the best gifts I would got from a friend. I mean, you know, it's you know, I'm very humble for that. Believe me, he's gonna get something from me at some point. Whether, you know, I'm sure he doesn't expect it or anything like that, or want it or anything like that, but I'll think of something. I got a few ideas, but for me, you know, for me in this situation, I'm starting to lose my voice. For me, in the situation I am in now, it's just a matter of waiting, unfortunately, and it's always a waiting game. So you gotta go with what the cards you play. You either go with the cards you play with, or you go do something for yourself. And it's much easier dealing with the cards you play with than actually going in and doing a simulator all yourself, or doing this all yourself. That's your only options really at this point. And I don't have the energy, the time. I have to work. I have, you know, my son. So I don't have the time to dedicate to do an entire simulator, or to even start one. So I'm quite happy with Run 8. I'm still into it. I'm doing sessions twice a week now, maybe even more. My son is starting to get into this. He's always been into trains, and he's starting to get into this as well. Well, we'll see how long that lasts. That could be a fad with him. He's at that age where, you know, things change and attention spans change. I mean, he's stuck with karate for a couple of years now, so he's really into that. I don't see him giving that up. He loves that way too much. But no, I never noticed a great signal there. That's cool. But anyways, I'm just gonna end that for now, just saying that. So we'll wait and see. And you know, if TSCAD delivers, hopefully sooner than later. I've seen some screens come out. Then I'll be getting that. If it's free, great. If it becomes payware, I'll certainly support it. But at some point, you know, as far as that AI dispatcher, I would love to do it, but it's a pipe dream. Unfortunately, it's become a pipe dream. If I had the power to, if I had the ability to simply know how to communicate with external dispatcher, I would have already been working on it a long time ago. And unfortunately, I just don't have that ability. I don't have the connections. I've burned too many bridges. I'm too critical at times, I guess, of being a fan or whatever. So, and even when I was not burning bridges and, you know, trying to play softball or whatever, it's trying to get the information is very difficult, especially if, you know, like, I don't know. It's hard to say. But anyways, I'm rambling at this point. I'm probably tired, so I'll end that there, because I said I was going to have this short video. But that's pretty much it. I have to go do some more research eventually for this. I didn't feel like doing it tonight, so at least we've started. So every little bit helps. And then also Ski's working on the industries. I have to communicate with him and see what he's been up to and what he's discovered. And he's working more along the industry side of things for his server. And myself, I'm working more along the main lines, working back towards the industries. So hopefully we'll be able to share some data. I can share what I got, he can share what I got, you know, or blah blah blah. And you know, everybody's going to have a different server, different options. It'd be nice to get a lot of people together in one server at some point, but the problem with that is everybody has a different way of doing things, so it's difficult to do. And quite frankly, the way it's set up right now, even without AI, you can run a territory like this. I can dispatch this whole territory, run Hobart, you know, handle the trains that are coming in and out of here. Now I haven't been doing that because I haven't been paying attention, but all the spawns are in this area. I can control it, so it's nice. But anyways, that's it for now. I'm going to end this. I'm not saving that. Leave that for it was just the reason why I didn't go into the world is because I didn't want to save it. I didn't want to get all my data. But so yeah, this is going to help, because this will allow me to dig deeper. Everybody can do this as well. You just generate the file, get into your spreadsheet of choice, and you can then copy and paste data if you want to. Say, for example, before I end this here, I know I'm blabbing on as usual, but you can take something like this and copy this into, because that's what it is. It's representing the gondola and the boxcars for that particular industry. And the reason why you'd want to do that is you can then go ahead and filter. You can filter or sort or do whatever you want, and that works perfect for what you need. These I'm surprised that they didn't do a comma for those, but that's okay, because it was comment limited, so I don't know why it didn't, but yeah, whatever, who knows. But and then you can just click that out of there and filter it any way you want, and then you can check which industries are where, write them up on a map. You set up your switching zones. Once you have your switching zones, then you know what locals do what, or what locals are set to do what industry. And if you don't like the locals that are set up, you can make your own locals. You can create your own industries, and you can create your own symbols, and create your own loads, empties, destinations. You can change all of this. This is all capable of being edited in the system, so it works out good. In fact, I gotta edit a lot of that crap, but for now I'm okay with it. I'll just deal with it and see what happens. Okay guys, that's it for me. I am tired. I don't know why I'm tired, but I feel tired. But I've had a good day. Anyways, have a good one, have a good night, and for those joining the session tomorrow, we will be on probably 10 minutes before 6. And the post is up on Railroad Transportation Simulator Wiki, as well as Run8 servers. And we'll talk to you next time. Have a good one.